84 points.
Hmm.
I just want you to stop whatever you're doing right now. Just visualize that number on a scoreboard. 84.
It's not a real number.
It's not. We aren't talking about, a preseason scrimmage. This isn't a basketball game that went into overtime. This is a quarterfinal game in the college football playoff.
Against the number 3 seed in the entire nation. It's a number that, honestly, it breaks your brain a little bit. When I first saw the data for this bracket, I genuinely thought it was a typo.
Of course you did.
I thought, okay, surely that's a combined score or something. But no, that is the reality of the 2028 college football playoff.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are unpacking what might be the single most insane, logic-defying bracket we have ever seen. We're calling this the year of absolute chaos, and frankly, that might be an understatement.
It really might. We're looking at a bracket that defies almost every metric we usually apply. We've got blue bloods falling, mid-majors rising, and scores that look like video game glitches.
Exactly. So whether you're a stats nerd or you just live for a good underdog story, you're in the right place. We're going to go round by round through this in this beautiful wreckage. But first, is the era of the chalk bracket officially dead?
Oh, it's dead. If you predicted this bracket, you're lying. It's that simple. Chalk, for those who don't know, means the favorites win.
The big logos advance.
Exactly. This year, if you bet on the logos, you lost everything. What stands out to me is that this isn't just one upset, it is a systemic collapse of the safe bets.
Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go to round one. The spark of chaos, we're calling it. We start with the 12 seed versus the 5 seed, Colorado State versus Cal.
Right, and this game really set the tone. You have Colorado State, a Mountain West team, walking onto the field against a Pac-12 contender.
I'm usually just happy to be there, right?
Usually, but the final score is 31-29.
31-29. And what I love is the narrative flip. The sources say Colorado State came in and immediately started slapping around a Pac-12 team. They weren't intimidated at all.
And that's the key here. It wasn't a fluke. The analysis shows this was a tight game with a clutch finish. That means they stood toe-to-toe for 4 quarters. The talent gap we talk so much about, maybe it's not as wide as we think.
And while that was happening, we got a heavyweight brawl on the other side. 8 versus 9? Oklahoma versus Ohio State? I mean, come on. That's a national championship matchup in any other year.
It is, and it lived up to the billing. The final score was 27-26.
1 point. Just imagine being an Ohio State fan. You make the playoff, you expect a deep run, and you go home. First round. By 1 point. That is gut-wrenching.
It is, and it adds to the chaos narrative perfectly. It was an instant classic, and the irony is palpable. Ohio State, a program built on just blowing teams out, is out early.
And Oklahoma survives.
They survive. And keep that word in mind, because surviving that first test, well, it completely changed their trajectory.
So round 1 gives us a 12-seed upset and sends Ohio State packing. But then we get the mid-major uprising. This is where things get really spicy. App State versus Indiana.
This is where the story just bends toward the surreal. App State comes in as the 11 seed, but here's the context people forget, and the committee probably ignored. They were already 15-0.
15-0. That's just a ridiculous amount of winning before you even step foot in the playoff.
Exactly. They have forgotten how to lose. So they get matched up with Indiana, a solid Big Ten team, and App State takes them down 35-31.
It's the most App State thing App State has ever done. I mean, we all remember Michigan, but to do it here, to stay undefeated in the playoff by knocking off a Big Ten team, it's poetry.
And it validates their record, all that talk about strength of schedule. Well, they just played the number 6 seed from the Big Ten and won. That 15-0 wasn't a fluke. It was a warning.
A warning, yeah. But if App State was a warning, the next game was a full-blown siren. North Texas versus Texas Tech. 7 versus 10. And the score, you have to double-check it.
50-7.
Hold on. 50 to add 7.
It's an absolute obliteration. There's no other word for it.
The notes describe it perfectly. One team showed up for a playoff game, the other for a spring scrimmage. I mean, Texas Tech is an air raid school. How do they only score 7 points?
And North Texas, remember, is also undefeated. They moved to 14, and with this win, this was the statement. When you beat a power conference team by 43 points, you are shouting to the rest of the bracket that the old hierarchy is done.
So that's just round 1. You'd think, okay, surely order gets restored in the quarterfinals.
You would think that. Logic would dictate that the top seeds, the rested teams with home field advantage, would step in and crush these rebellions.
But logic has left the building. This brings us to the main event.
Yeah.
The game that I think we're going to be talking about for 20 years. App State, the 11 seed, versus Miami, the 3 seed.
We have to pause here. Miami is the number 3 team in the country. They had the bye. They are a powerhouse with NFL talent everywhere.
Huh.
And the final score.
I still can't believe I'm saying it. 84-21.
84.
I mean, how do you even score 84 points in a major college football game?
Yeah.
What does that even look like on the field?
It raises so many questions. To score 84 points, you are basically scoring a touchdown every single time you touch the ball. It means the defense got 0 stops. It probably means they got defensive scores, too.
It's a basketball halftime score. That's what it is. It's not just a win, it's a detonation. App State moves to 16 and... oh, you can't call them an underdog anymore.
No, the Cinderella story is over. After dropping 84 on Miami, they're a monster. They're the most dangerous team in America. It completely shatters the psychological safety of every other team. If the number 3 seed can get beat by 60 points...
then nobody is safe.
Nobody. Every defensive coordinator left in the tournament is waking up in a cold sweat thinking about that number.
It is the absolute centerpiece of the chaos. But it didn't stop there. We have to talk about the fall of the king.
The number 1 seed, Alabama.
Alabama versus Oklahoma. The 1 versus the 9. And remember, Oklahoma just scraped by Ohio State by 1 point. They should be exhausted.
And Alabama's fresh. Alabama's, well, they're Alabama.
And yet Oklahoma wins, 38-31.
Yep.
The defending number 1 seed. Gone. Just like that.
This goes back to what I said about Oklahoma surviving. There's that debate about rust versus rhythm. Alabama sat out. Oklahoma was battle-tested. They were in fight mode already. By the time Alabama woke up, it was too late.
So the number 1 seed is out. The number 3 seed was humiliated. The number 2 seed, we'll get to them, but the Blue Bloods are just dropping like flies.
It's a massacre. And then you have Clemson, the 4 seed. They played that feisty 12 seed, Colorado State.
And even that wasn't pretty. Clemson won 35-31.
Right. They survived. They had to sweat it out.
They barely avoided being the first 4 seed to lose to a 12.
And that just reinforces the whole narrative. Even the blue blood that won looked vulnerable. Colorado State pushed them to the absolute brink. So you have Alabama losing, Miami destroyed, Ohio State gone. If you're a fan of the traditional powers, this bracket is a nightmare.
It really is. It feels like the gap is finally closed. The logo on the helmet just doesn't seem to matter this year.
Or the talent is just more spread out than we realized. When North Texas and App State can do this, we have to rethink how we evaluate talent.
Speaking of North Texas, let's look at the pending storm. There's one quarterfinal on the bracket that hasn't been played yet in our source data. North Texas, the 7 seed, versus Iowa, the 2 seed.
And this is the fascinating part, the battle of the undefeated. You have Iowa sitting at number 2, untouched, and North Texas coming off that 50-7 win.
So yeah, has to go. Someone's dream is about to get shattered.
And look at the momentum. North Texas is flying high. Iowa's been sitting and waiting. We just saw what happened to the other teams that were waiting.
It got punched in the mouth.
They did. So the question is, can North Texas keep this trend going? Or will Iowa be the one team that finally says, enough is enough, and stops the chaos?
It's that classic, unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Iowa wants to win 17-14. North Texas just scored 50. It's the most intriguing matchup left.
No question.
So let's zoom out. The semifinals are looming. The national championship is set for Tampa. But look at the field that's heading there.
It's a mix no one could have predicted. You have these mid-majors who've turned into juggernauts. You have a lucky Clemson. And you have a dangerous Oklahoma team that's already slain 2 giants.
I feel like we're heading for one of 3 scenarios. A total mid-major showdown in Tampa, which would just melt the internet.
Or we get a blue blood redemption arc where Oklahoma or Clemson salvages some prize for the old guard. Or option 3.
What's option 3?
Full-blown chaos championship. App State keeps scoring 80 points a game and just runs everyone out of the building.
Do you imagine App State winning the whole thing by scoring like 70 points in the final?
After seeing 84-21, I'm not ruling anything out. The impossible has already happened.
So what's the verdict here? We've had first-round upsets. The number 1 seed has fallen. We have an 84-point performance against a top 3 team.
The verdict for me is that the old guard has officially been put on notice. When you see Alabama and Ohio State out and Miami destroyed like that, The mystique is gone. The fear factor is gone.
That death of blue bloods narrative really has some teeth this time.
And it's happening convincingly. These aren't lucky Hail Marys. These are physical beatdowns.
It's so exciting, though. I mean, this is the most fun the sport has been in years. You genuinely have no idea what's going to happen next.
Absolutely. The unpredictability is what makes it work.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with, listener. We're looking at these scores, App State 84, North Texas 50. Are we witnessing a fundamental shift in how the game is played? Or is this just one freak year? Is this just lightning in a bottle that we will never see again?
That is the question. Is this the new normal or a historical anomaly?
I guess we'll find out as the bracket heads toward Tampa. For now, my advice. Just embrace the madness. Don't try to make sense of it.
Agreed. Chaos is the only thing on the menu.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll be watching that Iowa-North Texas game very, very closely. Until next time.